Welcome to the Rational Patriot Podcast, where common sense meets the Constitution. We're here to cut through the noise, defend our freedoms, and give you the facts without the fluff. Whether you're here to save the country or just looking for a break from the endless spin, we've got you covered. Buckle up, Patriots. It's time to get rational.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Rational Patriot Podcast. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this fabulous Wednesday. I hope you are all doing great and that the week is off to a good start for you. We're halfway through it. But let's go ahead and jump into today's topic. And today, we're talking a lot about the man, the myth, and the legend, Donald J. Trump, President-elect Trump. Want to start here with this on the Daily Wire, and it is that Trump demands GOP senators impede Biden judge nominees. And here's why that's not so simple. And I'm not really going to get too much into the why it's not so simple, but I really want to get into here and what Trump is doing. And Trump is exerting his authority not only over Washington, D.C. as the incoming president-elect, but over the Republican Party and over politics in general by saying, I am single-handedly the most popular Republican president-elect Republican candidate in the history of the party. But outside of that, I am a political phenomenon like you've never seen before. I mean, when's the last time that you have seen or heard of sports figures and, personality figures using taglines that of a politician or a presidential candidate for that fact? I mean, it's just not something that happens. And yet, this past Saturday, you had John Jones, who won his fight, point at Trump, give him the thumbs up signal, and turn around and start doing the Trump dance. And then after that, you had different NFL players such as Brock Bowers and others doing the Trump dance. You had the San Francisco 49ers player before the election coming out with a MAGA hat. Make America great again. It is a phenomenon like we've never seen before. And what Trump is doing is he is taking this moment to exert his dominance over the political scene, that with his appointments and his picks that he's made for his cabinet position, but also in the sense of you guys have run roughshod over the American people and you've exerted the will of the American people and done the exact opposite of it. So now I'm going to show you that's not how things are working any longer because the man is here. And that is Donald Trump. So he has urged the GOP senators this week to thwart President Joe Biden's judicial nominees during a lame duck blitz before the end of the year, although Republicans do not have the power to outright stop the process. So Trump is calling this the stacking of the court. And while it's not really that, it is the Biden and the leftists trying to do everything they can before they're completely out of power to try to get things in their favor. So as of Monday evening, the upper chamber had approved 216 judges with plans to keep going. Trump had 234 picks sent to federal benches by the end of his first term. So, as it stands, the 47 Democrats and the independents who caucus with him outnumber the Republicans at their 49. And, if it did get close and someone was to break ranks, they still do have Kamala Harris to come in and cast that tying vote, which I don't believe is going to happen. So, they can stall this, and I believe maybe they'll stall some. We'll see. But this is a great opportunity for Trump to send a message to the Senate. This is what I want you to do, and we're going to see if they do it, because if they don't do it or they don't even attempt to do it, I believe it could spell a recipe for disaster when it comes to Trump's cabinet picks and some of the agenda that Trump wants to push through while he's in office as the president, which is coming up on January 20th. So he's sending this message, hey, look, I'm the guy, and you're going to have to go through me for all of this stuff. And he's sending the message to the Senate, and even though they're in the minority, I want you guys to do this. I want you to get it done. Show me what you've got. The Republicans for so long have just set back and allowed the Democrats to do whatever they want. And so this is a chance for them to show, hey, we're going to stand up. We're going to fight this. We're going to do what's right. So we'll see. But I've got another article talking about Trump here that really caught my attention, and that is that Al Sharpton demands Trump deliver for Black America with administration positions. Sharpton has been criticized after his nonprofit accepted an enormous donation from the Harris campaign. So now he is saying that President-elect Donald Trump should pick those in his cabinet based on their race to deliver for Black America. Sharpton issued the statement Tuesday after Trump made several nominations to his cabinet and other administrative positions. Quote, "The president-elect needs to put his money where his mouth is if he actually wants to deliver for Black America." Well, considering that Donald Trump has done more for the Black community than any other president that I know of, I have a hard time thinking that Al Sharpton's really onto anything here. He's just trying to stay in the headlines and trying to get the headlines off the fact that the guy took, I forget how many hundreds of thousands or millions, or will we ever know the true amount, from Kamala Harris to be on his show and for her endorsement. I mean, think about this. If you're a Democratic presidential candidate and you're a Democratic presidential candidate of color, and you got to pay for Al Sharpton's endorsement, like, man, you must really be down bad. But, Al Sharpton says this, he's going to try to work with Trump, and Trump should do this, and Trump should be given the opportunity. It's funny how the tone changes once the guy has been elected by the American people in his office. And talking about the tone changing, from the AP, kissing the ring? MSNBC Morning Joe host meet with Trump to reopen lines of communication. And they started out, after they came onto their show and they said, look, we've met with Trump and, we've had a conversation with him. And people might be asking, why did we do that? Why did we do that? Well, maybe it's because you called the guy Hitler. If Trump wouldn't have wanted to come to the White House to meet with President Biden, maybe it would have been because they said that he would be the end of democracy and there would never be another election after this. These are the things that go on. And, Trump really played this great because he met with these jokers and now they are getting heat from their own base and from the leftists. Why would you meet with this guy? They're scared. I mean, it would be their worst nightmare if Elon Musk was to buy MSNBC and they were to be owned by someone who was in Trump's corner. So Trump is he's really exerting his dominance over the Republican Party. Mitch McConnell's come out in a now deleted tweet saying, someone tweeted quoting him that there will be no recess appointments. Freezing Mitch McConnell, and if you don't know what I mean by freezing Mitch McConnell, the guy that freezes up and looks like he's literally having a stroke on camera quite often, needs to understand something. This isn't the good old boys club anymore. Things have changed. So I want to get into this here. While Trump is doing everything that he can do to exert his dominance, it looks like that some of the cases against Trump are experiencing great difficulties. On Tuesday, Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg asked for the New York criminal case against Trump to be put on hold during his presidency. So it's on an indefinite hold for the next 4 years. Well, that's great news. We don't have to worry about our president being locked up, but that means that Trump can get through this and not have to worry about this hanging over his head. And really, if you ask me, once he's out of office and they have nothing to keep him from anymore, I think these cases will disappear completely. But Bragg's office wrote to the judge, quote, "The people deeply respect the office of the president and are mindful of the demands and the obligations of the presidency and acknowledge the defendant's inauguration will raise unprecedented legal questions. We also deeply respect the fundamental role of the jury in our constitutional system," prosecutors added. Why didn't you think that while he was the leading candidate for the Republican nomination, or once he became the Republican nominee for president, that maybe you should have took those things into account then? There's a thought. There's a unique thought, right? There's a thought about caring about justice, but they don't. They really don't care, and it's really sad. But it is what it is. Nothing surprises me with the Democrats anymore. But let's go ahead and get into the last word of reason.
And now for the last word of reason with your favorite Patriot, Dustin Ellis.
All right, So, the last word of reason is Ocasio-Cortez hammered with accusations of anti-Semitism after she blames Jewish group for Democrats' loss. Democratic Socialists, don't you just love that? Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York blamed a Jewish lobbying group for the Democratic Party's woes in the election and got nailed with online backlash. Okay. Quote, if people want to talk about members of Congress being overly influenced by a special interest group pushing a wildly unpopular agenda that pushes voters away from Democrats, then we should be discussing AIPAC. AIPAC? Yeah, said Ocasio-Cortez. The Congresswoman was immediately assailed by those who perceive the criticism as motivated by anti-Semitism. So the last word of reason is, Democrats, just understand something. The reason why you lost is because the American people realize your agenda is destructive and it doesn't work anymore. And you need to understand that we overwhelmingly voted Trump and the MAGA Republicans in. It's going to stay that way. You can blame Jewish folks. That's not the reason. You can blame single male voters. That's not the blame. You can blame the illegal immigrants for not getting out or voter suppression from Russia, whatever you want. But that's not the blame. You're to blame, and that's not going to change anytime soon if you do not learn from your mistakes and turn around for change. But thank you so much for listening to today's podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you all greatly on this Wednesday. Be sure to follow us over on X. Check us out wherever you get your podcasts. Go to our website, www.therationalpatriot.com, and we will catch you next time. Thank you, and God bless you.